A push or pull acting on an object is called force. When we open a door from inside, we pull the door by applying force. Similarly, when we close the door, we push the door by applying force. Thus, a push or pull applied on an object is called force. We apply force to perform many actions such as hitting a ball while playing cricket, kicking a football, sharpening a pencil. All these actions require force, but the amount of force is different. Again, we cannot see force, but we can feel it. Effects of force. A force can move a stationary object. A force can also make a moving object move faster. A force can stop a moving object. It can slow down a moving object. It can change the direction of a moving object, and it can change the shape of an object. There are different types of forces. Muscular force is the force applied by our body parts. So we use muscles for it. When we push or pull something, we apply muscular force. Like opening a door, kicking a football, plucking fruits from a tree. Magnetic force. The force with which a magnet attracts or repels iron objects or another magnet is called magnetic force. There are two poles in a magnet, the North Pole and the South Pole. Like poles repel, while opposite poles attract. All magnets produce a magnetic field around them. Magnets can be natural or man-made. Our Earth is a giant magnet as it has a molten core inside it. Sir Isaac Newton discovered gravity or gravitational force when he saw an apple falling from a tree. He wondered why apple fell on the ground and did not just fly away in the air. Then he realized that there must be a force that made it fall down, and he called this gravitational force. The force that attracts objects to the center of the earth is called gravitational force. This is the force that holds our sun, moon, and planets together. Frictional force. The force that opposes the motion of one object over another when two objects are in contact with each other is called friction. Friction stops or slows down the movement of objects across the surface. For example, when you stop pedaling your bicycle, it gradually slows down and then it stops. Smooth surfaces provide less friction than rough surfaces. Friction helps us to walk, it helps us to ride, and it helps vehicles move on the road. Recap. Friction as a force. Force. A push or pull on an object is called force. Gravitational force. The force that attracts objects towards the center of the earth. Friction. The force that opposes the motion of one object over another when they are in contact with each other. Muscular force. The force applied by our body parts. Name the following. The kind of force that moves the object away from us. Push. The kind of force that pulls the object toward us. Pull. The force applied by our body parts. Muscular force. The force that holds the sun, earth, and moon together. Gravitational force. An example of a giant magnet, the earth. Answer the following. Name the different types of force. Muscular force, magnetic force, gravitational force, frictional force. Mention the effects of force. A force can move a stationary object. A force can make a moving object move faster. A force can stop a moving object. A force can slow down a moving object. A force can change the direction of a moving object, and a force can change the shape of an object. What is magnetic force? Mention its effects. The force with which a magnet attracts or repels iron objects or another magnet is called magnetic force. There are two poles in a magnet, North Pole and South Pole. Like poles repel and unlike poles attract. Mention the types of forces acting in. Plucking fruits from a tree, you use muscular force. Separating small iron particles from sand, you use magnetic force. An apple falls from a tree, gravitational force. Riding a bicycle, frictional force. Writing in a notebook, frictional force. Lifting of objects by electromagnetic crane, magnetic force. Give reasons. When you throw up an object into the sky, it falls down because gravitational force pulls the object back to the earth, surface or center. A rolling ball stops after some time because of the force of friction between the ball and the ground. Write 4 uses of friction. Friction between our feet and the ground makes it possible for us to walk. Friction between the tires of a car and the road makes it easy for us to move on the road. Friction helps us hold a pen or pencil in our hand. Friction between the pen and the paper makes us write. Friction between the eraser and the paper helps us erase. Matchsticks burn when rubbed against rough surfaces. Friction stops a speeding car when brakes are applied. Mention a few harmful effects of friction. Harmful effects of friction are: friction can wear out the soles of our shoes, tires of vehicles, and machine parts. Friction between 2 surfaces generates heat and that can damage the machine. How can friction be reduced? It can be reduced by 1. Sprinkling powder on the surface of an object. 2. Lubricating or oiling machine parts. 3. Polishing the surface to make it smoother. Fill in the blanks. When we rub our hands, they get warm because of friction. Lubrication is a method of reducing friction between machine parts. Friction always acts opposite to the direction of motion. Grease is an example of a lubricant. Friction causes wear and tear of machine parts. Rough surfaces have more friction. Polishing the surface of an object reduces the friction. Friction between 2 surfaces generates heat. Give reasons why. Lubricants are used in machine parts. Lubricating the machine part inside the engine makes it move smoothly. Fine powder is sprinkled on a carom board to reduce friction on the board to make the coins go faster and smoothly. Soles of some shoes have studs because studs increase the friction between the ground and the shoe and help in firm grip with the ground. This helps athletes run faster. Tires have grooves on them because grooves increase friction between the tire and the road and thus enables them to move.